3 down, 2 to go. So let's get the last of the Elite Four out of the way here, Lucian, before I get my ass handed to me by Cynthia. Lucian did himself a pretty decent job of kicking my ass, mind you, so that gives you a fair idea about how absolutely horrible Cynthia was. I think it's towards this back end of the Elite Four that I felt like I might have been a bit too low of a level. I mean, like, 70's still fine. Obviously, I managed to get through all these fights, but I feel like with a few extra levels, it wouldn't have been quite as reliant on RNG, because I did get screwed over a few times with RNG and stuff. So anywho, we have a comp test between the two screen setters on my team. I've got $3 here, and my opposing number here is Mr. Mime. So knowing Mr. Mime's got a bit of speed, I thought I'd give Gyro Ball a shot. It does decent, but it's not exactly a 2KO yet. And then he just starts to put up the screens and stuff, so that's not helping the cause either. I'm not too sure why I even used the Zen Headbutt here. And just to rub it further into my face, he switches into the Alakazam, which ironically ends up working out pretty well for me. This Alakazam is about as deadly as you'd expect, especially considering it's timid with Life Orb. And if you have any further doubts about that, this Alakazam he sent out last in a failed attempt at this fight, and he cleaned up the rest of my team, so I just kind of got picked up and dumped into the freaking soil. So that was rather unfortunate, but in this case though, not so bad. He's just sent the Alakazam in here right now, and given the massive speed gap, I feel like Gyro Ball could probably do a little bit of damage there, and lo and behold, manages to KO through the Reflect, assuming that Reflect is even put up. I want to say it put the Mr. Mime put the Reflect up first, and then when the light screen started attacking. I didn't really pay too much attention to that. I really should be watching these back, but I don't know, I guess I'm too lazy. I think I got a comment earlier that said people should stop sleeping on me, and I'm like, I don't know if they'd really appreciate me taking 10-month breaks every so often, because, you know, those are going to add up, which is a bit shy. Anywho, straight into his ace, Gallade. This thing is another high crit specialist, like Aaron's Drapion before it, which kind of blows. It's got the close combat though, which doesn't have the high crit rate. It's got a scope lens, and I think the rest of its moveset is, what is it? Psycho Cut, Leaf Blade, Night Slash. They're all high. Pardon me. They're all high crit rate moves, so those are pretty deadly here. And I think a crit comes in here. Oh no, I managed to tank it with the Reflect, and I guess Gallade's not quite as fast as I remember it. It served me pretty well in Blaze Black, but I guess it wasn't really all that quick. And as you can see, the irony there is that I actually managed to crit it with a freaking Aerial Ace and clean it up, so that was just hilarious. And then up next we have Espeon. I don't really have anything like at full health that can deal with it quickly. Like, most of my good stuff is now just kind of in the pits a little bit because of that friggin' Gallade, and to an extent the Alakazam, so I'm like, alright, we'll just give Tidal a shot here and see how that goes. Wanted to put up some rain here, only to find out this stupid thing is packing Dazzling Gleam, so that's not helping the cause either, and my light screen's worn off, so that's pretty well put down there. Insanely annoying here. This Espeon is holding Wise Glasses, so it's not locked into any one move in particular. So I go into $3 thinking it's probably going to either go another Dazzling Gleam or Psychic, and I should be able to tank that from there. Works out pretty well in my benefit. So here I've got no choice. I have to heal because $3 hat unfortunately does have his limits. So gotta blast the Hyper Potion here. Anything that Espeon throws at me is probably not going to do a whole lot. It does have Aura Sphere, which it uses here. That's obviously its best shot. The other three moves are all resisted. You've seen Dazzling Gleam as Psychic. The last move is Power Gem, which is pretty nice little type coverage. I should know frickin' Ghost Trick's got it, and it's just nice and handy to have. So obviously I wanted to start putting some more screens back up and hopefully take those through the remainder of this fight, or at least as far into this fight as possible. Light Screen was the more important one, since that should allow me to get title to tank a couple of Dazzling Gleam hits and maybe hit a crit with Surf or something like that. In the meantime, I can't really hope for any misses here, because Aura Sphere is just like Area Lace on crack, basically. Just will not ever miss. So I think here I guess I heal Bertha instead. Bertha does make a little bit more sense. It's got the special attack, like the special defense to take stuff from Espeon. Even if it is Power Gem, like Power Gem's not the most powerful move around, somewhat ironically. So I think here I'm just staying in, letting $3 die here, which sucks because I'm wasting valuable screen turns, but you know, what can you do? And then that happens. It just it gets a min damage roll, and I lose one more turn of screens. And I think by the time Bertha comes out here, I think I've like lost one of my screens as well, which hurts a great deal. That being said, the Espeon is less than half of its health, so okay, I guess Bertha's not the best idea. Instead I just like opt for Rampart. Not too sure what the go is with that, but does hit hard. Espeon doesn't have the best physical defense. There's no Reflect Up, and Earthquake does a lot of damage. So I guess there was no doubt in my mind that Espeon was dying from this thing. It is possible that I come back to regret this, though. Yeah, Bronzong would be doing the mirror match here, but $3 dead. I'm not too sure when I think there's like maybe 1 or 2 fights coming up here where I actually use the revive in fight. You'll notice I haven't used any of them at all up to this point. But that's just sort of like, I don't know, some kind of challenge condition that I wasn't really strict on, but decided I would try my best to adhere to. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. So, nah. Instead of getting a mirror match, you just get to see Mitrose hitting the overheat button again. So there that goes. Bronzong rip. And is immediately followed up by Metagross. Isn't that just my fucking luck? So, Rain's long since gone here. I think I just send in Tidal either to get in a healing turn or just to hit it as hard as I can and then send something else in. Yeah, I go with Surf. Surf will still do an okay amount of damage, I think. I think it's like a 2 KO somewhere. Yeah, that's not too bad. If it was a crit, it would be a 1 bang and then I'd be jumping for joy, but no such luck. Funny thing is, though, Zen Headbutt apparently doesn't do quite as much damage as I was expecting, because Tidal not only tanks, but actually manages to go well past its role of being Death Flutter and actually kills something. And that something being a fucking Metagross. So that's pretty good as well. So that just leaves the Mr. Mime that he switched out early in the piece. At this point, I'm just like, alright, well, we'll send in Bertha. I like to get something that's faster than Mr. Mime. It's taking a fair bit of damage. I've just got to get in a hard enough hit, and then that's it. And that hard enough hit proves to be Bug Bite. Nice little stab technician thing. I'm not too sure if Bug Bite gets technician. I think one of the moves on Bertha's set doesn't get technician. I want to say it's Bug Bite. I'm not too sure. I don't recall Bug Bite being any higher than maybe like 60 power, which means it should get technician boost. I have no idea. Anywho, this time around we have Espeon in the lead, so we'll just go for the Evolution War here and just start off with Illison. This Espeon's quick and puts up screens, similar to Mr. Mime, which is part of my team now for this second fight. missed a bit of a trick there by not going with Reflect. Probably should have expected Illison to be more of a physical attacking type. And ends up eating a pretty nasty Night Slash there. Not quite a crit, so it manages to tank, but I know he's going to heal it, so just keep going with the Night Slash. Hopefully a crit comes sooner rather than later. Unfortunately, that doesn't happen either. I just stick with another Night Slash here. I feel like Illison can probably tank one Psychic and then finish it off. And then I think, yeah, that happens. Special defense drops, which is inconsequential. I was always going to switch Illison out here anyway, or if I was going to keep it in, I'd just have it as Death Fodder. And so, following on from this is the Medicham. Medicham is actually looking at the teams that each of the Elite Four members has in the base game. Medicham was something that Lucian used in Diamond and Pearl, but obviously replaced it with other stuff in Platinum because of the larger Pokedex. So I guess this is like his fighting Psychic thing, and then since Gallade was put into the Dex afterward, he just sort of replaced it with Gallade. Speaking of Megas, he'd probably stick with Mega Gallade instead of Mega Medicham, which is unfortunate. Medicham's kind of cool. So, I believe I just put up a Reflect there. I don't think I can get in and of the screen before that Medicham kills me. So I think I wanted to try to go in with something that can tank a hit. Either that, or I just go with... Or did I'm actually trying to work out, did I put up a screen? No, I put up a screen, I put up a Reflect, and then thought I'd go with the Dazzling Gleam. I'm not too sure, but here I might have thought that Dazzling Gleam had like a chance of dropping an attacking stat, which is not the case. It's Moonblast and it drops special attack. But then I think, let me actually have a look at this. Yeah, the Medicham is Scarfed, and I think I realize it here, so I switch into Mit Roast so it can sponge all these Thunder Punches. So I just kill it with Shadow Ball. Just kind of got to finagle with the pace spin and stuff because, you know, can't fit everything on to the screen in a way that actually makes me see everything. Okay, so Starmie. Illison is probably best suited to dealing with the Starmie, even though the Starmie, well, there's no way it doesn't have Ice Beam. It's a frickin' Starmie. But Illison's a bit worse for wear, so I'm opting for Ghost Trick instead. The hope here is I can just get in a very powerful Shadow Ball here and just kick its ass. It is well known for being pretty quick and a decent special attacker. I don't think its defenses are all that great. Certainly physical defense I don't think is that great. Was definitely lucky enough to get the Hydro Pump to miss there, but Light Screen wears off there, so I'm thinking if I was going to pick a time for Hydro Pump to miss, it would probably be this turn instead of the last one, which sucks. So I switch out into Pompoda. Pompoda's also got an okay matchup. It's got some bulk. It should be able to tank at least one Hydro Pump, maybe two. And I think it's just a matter of hoping that one of these Hydro Pumps ends up missing. Because yeah, that's a fair amount of damage from that Hydro Pump. I'd have to get the second one to miss here. So I go with the Crunch, and lo and behold, the Hydro Pump misses. So with the Life Orb having taken a bit of damage from Starmie there, Crunch was always going to get rid of that thing out. Just getting it out of the way, which is quite nice. Okay, so I believe that's halfway through this team. The replacement here is Girafarig. Girafarig's a bit funky because it is part normal, so I can't just go in with Ghost Trick and Shadow Ball the shit out of it. So here I'm just like, okay, well, we'll try to Toxic this thing down and see how that goes down. This Girafarig has Earthquake. Unfortunately does not do a whole lot of damage because Girafarig's not exactly known for its physical prowess. So, I mean, the Reflect also comes into play there as well, so that's, we're happy to have that. But now that the Reflect is gone, I imagine Pompoda's not surviving another Earthquake. But expecting to get hit with another Earthquake here, I go in with Bertha. And so I can just sort of sponge that hit, because while Girafarig says fuck you to ghosts, it is not quite as resistant to Bug Bite. I take the opportunity to put up a Reflect here as well. I'm pretty confident in Bertha's special bulk here, and even with the Thunderbolt coming down. So that's around about a 2-hit KO, so I've got to get the Bug Bite to connect here. And oh yeah, here we go. So Bug Bite comes in here, KOs the Girafarig, and we now know the Girafarig has a Colbur Berry. Colbur Berry, I think, reduces damage from Dark type super effective moves. I imagine that would certainly be the case, if not for the... because, I mean, I'd have taken the thing otherwise. And then this Exeggutor is also holding a berry, so I go with the Bug Bite again. I'm not too sure if Occa Berry is the one to use against bug types. It would make sense, because Exeggutor's got the quad weakness to that. But I guess if that is the case, then maybe Bug Bite just sort of takes priority and gets rid of the berry first before they can eat it. If that's the case, that's like really good. So I'm actually quite glad that I managed to get some kind of a benefit out of Bug Bite that's not just killing something quick because it's weak to bug. So I'm just going to stick with Bertha here. I've got to Reflect up and just give Aerial Ace a shot. And for the second time in a row, I land a crit. So he just got cleaned the fuck up at the end there, which is absolutely amazing. Bertha getting a lot of brownie points in her 2 fights here, which is nice. Gives her a nice little bit of quote-unquote momentum going into the Cynthia fights. So back to a more defensive lead here with Hypno. Illison's in this team as well, so just going to try to go with the same strategy here. Get Illison up front, go for the Night Slash. I never remember which of Hypno's defenses is the stronger one. I want to say that it's physical. It tanked that Night Slash pretty well, and once again he misses a trick here by going with Light Screen instead of Reflect. That works out really well, because as you can see there, I've literally only got one special attacker on this team. So that Reflect is going to be, for the most part, completely inconsequential. So following up here is Jinx. And I could have gone with Ghost Trick, but again, Light Screen probably would not have led to a great deal of success. So I go with Suricate instead. And this Jinx channels the Fire Red Omega Jinx shtick by carrying what is otherwise Deoxys's signature move of Psycho Boost. That's the one. So I figured I would prefer for that to just sort of not be a thing, and Suricate does exactly what I need it to. Gets in the Shadow Claw, doesn't even need to crit to get the 1-bang. So that gets that out of the way, and now here comes Gallade. Only makes sense that he sent this thing in against a normal type. And so now I'm considering a couple of options. I'm considering Illison. I'm considering $3 to put up some screens. And I think I stay in here. Yeah, I think I stay in here because I'm going to outspeed this thing definitely. And so I give another Shadow Claw. Hopefully get another crit. I think might have run out of crit luck at this point. Yeah, survives. Gets into close combat, which is actually fine by me, because even if she heals, I could probably send in something that can hit super effectively and still knock it out. Let me actually have a look at what this Hypno is holding. It is holding a Light Clay, so the Light Screen is extended. But I guess I go with Ghost Trick anyway, because I'm thinking maybe the special defense drop will be enough to get me over the line here. I opted for Shadow Ball. I was always going to hit this thing as hard as I possibly could anyway, regardless of whether he healed or not. So I was just like, alright, commit to it. See how that works out. And, let's see. Manages to be a 2KO, and I outspeed, so overall, this Gallade doesn't actually end up being the most threatening thing in the world. And then I'm not too sure, but I think the light screen might run out this turn. Let me actually have a look here. 71. Not quite. Okay, so Bronzong in here. And now on this occasion, I actually have the opportunity to go for a mirror match here. Certainly considering it, I think I opt for something else, maybe? I guess I stay in. Now this Bronzong's actually different from the Bronzong he used in the first team it was. First team? Yeah. The first team literally had the same moveset as my Bronzong. Just the two stab attacking moves in the two screens. This one is a lot more attack oriented. It's got Psychic Flash Cannon, as you can see there, as well as Earthquake. And then it also has Hypnosis, if just in case it like needs that to put something to sleep or whatever. And so with the light screen up, I believe this Bronzong just manages to tank 2 Shadow Balls here. Yeah, that's unfortunate. And Flash Cannon isn't going to miss, so it ends up getting a little bit of a victory here. It's interesting to note that both of these Bronzongs have Levitate. That would be the reason why the first one died to overheat so easily. The other one is Heat Proof, which basically kills off its weakness to fire moves. That being said, since it's not weak to fire anymore, I go in with Dick Kickham. With absolutely no expectation of this thing healing, so could have easily gone with either Blaze Kick or Mark Punch. Went with the Mark Punch for priority, just in case it somehow outspeeds Dick Kickham and gets in like a Psychic or something. And then I got to bail him straight the fuck back out because I'm not going to have him dealing with Gardevoir. Now, Gardevoir, it's a special attacker with Wise Glasses. And so here, I think I just wanted to go straight with the Gyro Balls and get it out of the way as quickly as possible. It probably would not have been a bad idea to go with Light Screen here, assuming one hasn't already been put up. Considering the amount of damage that Thunderbolt did to $3, I feel like I probably already had one up. I'm not too sure. Anywho, Switch. Switches into the Slowbro to eat one of my valuable Gyro Balls, which is very annoying. And this Slowbro has quite an annoying amount of type coverage here. It's got the dual stabs, of course. It can heal with Slack Off and Leftovers, and then it also has Flamethrower. So, seeing that in the moveset, I'm thinking to myself, okay, how the hell do I approach this? I'm just like, I'm probably going to eat a Flamethrower no matter what. So, I'm just deciding to stay in, hopefully tank the Flamethrower and maybe put up a light screen, and hopefully, if Illison doesn't get this thing in one shot, then it'll tank a Flamethrower and take it out on the second. So that's the strategy here, and as you can see, there's, even though Slowbro has slow in its name, it is still faster than $3. Funny. So funny I forgot to laugh. Alright, so now the stage has been set for Illison to get rid of this thing. A crit will absolutely one-bang this thing, but I didn't want to rely... I mean, I probably could have put up a Sword Stance, because I feel like Illison probably would have outsped Gardevoir anyway, and then a Leaf Blade with +2 attack would have just cleaned it up regardless. But I guess I just went straight with the Leaf Blades. It's not a huge difference, because it does just enough so that even with the Leftovers healing, it's still going to clean up Slowbro in 2 hits. So that gets him out of the way, and now we've got to bloody just finish off this stupid Gardevoir. So how do I do that? Do I just stay in? Apparently I don't. Oh no, I do. There we go. As long as I outspeed, Leaf Blade's just going to murder this thing. And then he heals. Of course. I find myself in a few situations where I just go in for the attack. Not really... it's like sometimes when I don't think about the opponent healing their Pokemon, I just attack and then they bloody heal. And that's usually in a spot where I'm just like, okay, I could probably do a Sword Stance or like a startup move That way I could just one-bang the damn thing on the next turn. But, yeah, it doesn't really prove to be all that consequential. I think it would only really matter if the opponent outsped me. And as you can see there, the God of War did not outspeed me there. So, there's the third one out the way. And then, following on from this is this team with the Alakazam lead. Now then, I opted for Pompoda here. I can't remember what I opted for previously. So basically, the way this works, the way this went down was, it had Thunder Wave, so I went with Thunder Wave. Like, he Thunder Waved me, and then I failed to get in a Toxic. And so I'm like, okay, screw it, I'm just gonna go with Crunch. I somehow managed to go first, get it in the Crunch, and then I realized the horror of my ways. This thing is sashed with Counter. So I got the thing down to 1 HP, and it one-banged Pompoda with Counter. So I just hit the fucking button and decided, okay, well, we're just gonna go with the Toxic again, commit to the Toxic, and then once it's taken a little bit of damage, then kill it with the Crunch. This thing has Magic Guard. It takes no damage from poison. So the Sash goes in anyway, but he's already committed to a Aura Sphere this time around, so Counter is no longer a thing I have to worry about, but he was pretty damn committed to getting that counter going. Like, holy shit. He only has 2 attacking moves other than that, and that's Aura Sphere, which you've just seen, as well as Psychic for very obvious reasons. So, yeah, healed up, but Crunch was going to one-bang it if it wasn't for the Sash, so rip. There that goes. Okay, so Pompoda did pretty well there. His next port of call will be the Metagross here. I do not have the overheat button to help me out here, so I've got to go for an alternate option here. He's not got any screens. I don't think he actually has screens anywhere on his team. Let me have a look. No, there are no screens on his team at all, so I guess this one is probably more of an all-attacking type set. And Metagross certainly fits in with that, and it almost certainly doesn't need the Reflect here, because that Shadow Claw is not even putting the Metagross into 2-hit knockout range, which sucks. So Meteor Mash comes in, one-bangs it. It sounds about right. This Metagross has Iron Fist as well, so none of this Life Orb stuff putting it down into 2 KO range, so I very much find myself debating what the hell I want to do here. I think at this point it's about as time as any to get some screens up, so I go with the Reflect first because I am smart and Lucian isn't, which is ironic given that Lucian has glasses and reads a book. So there's Reflect. Meteor Mash manages to fall just short of the knockout there, which is always nice. And then, for some inexplicable reason, he switches out here in... I switch out here and Dick Kick him. Not too sure what the go is with that. Goes to the Earthquake. I guess... I'm not even sure what the go is with using Earthquake instead of Meteor Mash there. I'd probably have just spammed Meteor Mash until it died just to get a shot at attack boost. So... brought this thing in for pretty obvious reasons. Those pretty obvious reasons do not get fulfilled. The Blaze Kick fails to get the knockout. And then I think from here the Earthquake, yeah, gets it to kick him. So that plan just goes out the window, and here I am thinking that this Metagross is probably sweeping the rest of my team. Because I am expecting him to heal here. And he just doesn't. So much for my concern. Metagross just kind of dies there. He lets it go. Not entirely sure why. Also, joy. Must always say joy. Anywho, God of War is up next. And my best option for this one would obviously be Pompoda. I've got an immunity to one of its stabs, and I take neutral from the other. But I've got a pretty good edge here, so just go straight with the Gunk Blasts and see how that works out. I get outsped, Moon Blast. Thankfully, Gunk Shot is a physical move, so even if the special attack drop came in there, wouldn't have really mattered. Gunk Shot would still be launched with a pretty ferocious force. And there you go. That gets rid of Gardevoir. So I believe that's the halfway point of this team. And coming up next is Starmie. Okay. It would make sense to go into Spearmint here, I guess. But for some reason, I guess I'm just going with Jaeger. I'm not too sure. I couldn't possibly be thinking that it outspeeds the Starmie. Yeah, no. And just Hydro Pump to ensure the overkill is complete. This Starmie's moveset is about the same as the previous one. It's Life Orbed with Modest. So, nah. Sending in Spearmint now because I should have just done that before. And so now it's just a matter of Spearmint like tanking a Psychic. Does it pretty well, and now I just have to hope Seed Bomb goes in here and gets rid of it right quick. Well, that's rather unfortunate, isn't it? And he doesn't heal it either, so there goes Spearmint. How unfortunate is that? It's a bit shite. Life Orb though. Life Orb decides to be a power for me there. So that leaves Pompoda not feeling too crash hot, and Tidal, who is probably best suited to getting rid of the rest of this team. I like how I'm talking and then my voice just decides to disappear on me. Maybe because I don't have enough like breath. Okay, so Surf, eat a close combat. Hopefully the defense drop is enough to get Tidal over the line here. Hopefully maybe a critical will come in as well. That'd be quite nice to have. So I just go with the Surf. And I guess the stat drop works. I think I had one attempt where a strat drop like wasn't quite enough and it held them with like 1 HP. I'm not too sure if that was in one of the previous successful runs or if I lost that one. I'm not too sure. Anywho, Executor is the last one left, and I think I'm just like, okay, Ice Beams for days. I think that's all I really need to do, just Ice Beams for days, and then it should be dead. Yeah, and there's about 30 seconds left, so... Oh yeah, I forgot. I froze it. It could have done something to me, but I froze it. So yeah, there you go. Yeah. You get coconut-flavored popsicles to end this segment. So that's it. That's the Elite Four. Now I've just got to deal with Cynthia. I say now I've just got to deal with Cynthia as if I haven't actually fought her yet, and I have. She's absolutely a bitch in some places, as you will see next time. So I will see you for that.